Hey everybody, what's going on? KSA Kris here, the Real Estate Blitz, and this is it's a funny one. Somebody actually hit me up and they talked about, I think it's Mike Ferry because I've been to Tom Ferry events and it's very different, but they mentioned this myth, and I've heard the myth. I've heard it from multiple people, and actually, two of the times, so three times I've heard it. Two of the times it was directed at me, more as a shame on you kind of situation. And the myth was, I guess, if you go to a Mike Ferry event, and I don't know if it's a myth, it might be true. Um, I can't substantiate it one way or the other, but I was told that if you go to an event, you may get called out if you have facial hair. And the question was, A, is that true? So I'm here to tell you, I really don't know if that's a real thing for that group because I'm not part of that group. But B, what are my views on facial hair? Now, I don't know if you've noticed, I have facial hair. Um, uh, I would even say, some of the top producers that I know, one guy, he closes about 40 to 50 deals a month. He has a beard. I know Christian, he's doing 10 to 30 listings a month. He's got a beard. So, you know, I understand why. So let me tell you a little bit of background real quick. I remember hanging out at a different event. It was Sean Terry. Sean Terry, if you want to learn about wholesaling, things like that on the investor side, Sean Terry is a great way to start. Sean Terry is a friend of mine, and I went to one of his events probably about 4 years ago. And I was in one of the exclusive groups where he gives one-on-one private training with the individuals that paid, extra money to be there. And he actually called this guy out in front of everybody that was there and said, the reason why you're not doing as many deals as you want to do is because you have earrings, your hair is goofy, and you should shave. The guy came back later in the afternoon, shaven, haircut, no earrings. I still am friends with that guy. He has done extremely well, but he still is rocking his facial hair and earrings. So let me tell you my perspective on all of it. It's the same perspective that I have on cars. What kind of car should a real estate agent, if you're selling luxury real estate, should you be driving a luxury car? I did a video on this before. You can go look that up. I'll probably put it in the show notes. Here's my view. Truth. If whatever it is, if you're dressed, not everybody's going to be at the same levels when it comes to available assets or money, to put into your business. So if you talk about your car or your clothing, if you can't afford to get a custom suit, don't get a custom suit. If you can't afford to drive a luxury car, do not go in debt to get a luxury car. You don't need that. Whatever you do have, make sure it's clean. Make sure it looks good. Make sure you're dressed as well as you can be dressed. I remember friends of mine, they would ask me and they would have just beat up, busted cars. And when they were looking to get into investing, wholesaling, things like that, I says, look, park your car around the corner. You can't talk about buying somebody's house in cash, even though we know how it works. You can't show up in a busted car with a duct tape bumper to buy somebody's house in cash. However, some of the wealthiest people I know, I have this one buddy of mine, he's a commercial investor. He's extremely wealthy. He still drives a really beat up minivan. Why? Because it's not important to him. So I guess what I would say when it comes to the beard situation, if you're going to have a beard, make sure it's just clean and neat. Don't, if you got just a scraggly, disgusting beard, you have to understand that you're going to limit the demographic that you can communicate with. And that's what these people probably have gotten at. Will somebody work with somebody with a beard? The answer is yes, absolutely. Otherwise, people like me wouldn't have a beard, and I do quite well. Could you get more people to work with you without a beard? I think I don't know. I don't know because I've worked with no beard and I've worked with a beard and I've never seen an issue either way. To me, I believe it's a matter of your mindset, knowing your elevator speeches, knowing your scripts, being able to communicate through knowledge effectively what you do and how you can help somebody, having the right internal mind, in your heart, you're working for the right reasons for a client. You're not just viewing them as a paycheck. You're viewing them as, I'm genuinely interested in you. And I think as long as you're doing that and you're well kept, you're neat, I don't think a beard's an issue. And, for those that would argue about that and say, oh, you need to shave, screw them. The thing about being an entrepreneur, and I hear, that's the one thing that I've heard over and over in this business, real estate agents specifically, especially agents that are working with older brokers, everybody has this myth on how it should be done. The reality is you did this for a reason. You didn't do this so you could sit there and prostrate yourself and do what somebody else, I can't do it their way. Our old broker, you have to wear a suit everywhere you go, and you have to be this fake person that has a fake watch that you can't afford, with a fake car that you can't afford, and you're barely keeping the lights on, but that you got to show success. And I'll buy that to a point, but I'm me. People aren't buying your suit. People aren't buying your beard. People aren't buying your hair. People aren't buying your car. They're buying into you. If you're right and you're coming from the right place, if you genuinely know what you're doing and you're adding value, if you genuinely are the best in the market and you're well kept, whatever that may be, well kept beard, manscape, well kept clothing. I don't wear suits every day, but I wear nice enough outfits. I'm clean. And not only that, but I found most people love working with us because they feel like real estate agents are scam artists that are used car salesmen. When I meet people, I get stopped in Albertsons all the time. I actually start changing where I go shopping because I found it really hard to get through and go shopping. I would start and then I would be there for like 3 hours when I just went to pick up a loaf of bread because I get stopped so often. Now, don't get me wrong, that's good. But sometimes I just want to show up and get a loaf of bread. And here's the thing, people love working with us because we're actually human beings. We're unapologetically ourselves. People want to work with other people that are human beings that they feel like they can relate to. And sometimes I think when you're over the top and untouchable and just arrogant, it gives a natural arrogant personality. Nobody wants to work with an arrogant prick. So my opinion, if it is said in whatever groups that you need to shave, I can give you examples. You can write me down below. I'll give you examples of multiple agents that are multi-million-dollar a year agents, million or multi-million-dollar a year producing agents in commission that have beards, and they do just fine. They do fantastic. Some of them are extremely eccentric. I have one. He literally wears a bow tie, purple shirts, and a baseball hat to his listing appointments, and he's doing multi-million-dollars worth of commission every year. So I don't buy into the garbage. That's just my opinion, as usual. So that's all I got on this subject. Hopefully this answers the question that I got the other day. And as usual, KSA Kris here, Real Estate Blitz. Do me a favor, like, share, comment. Check out the YouTube, check out the Facebook, and be on the lookout for the podcast. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you all later.